Hey y'all, I know you saw that before picture where I looked a whole mess, but it's okay. We're working through that right now. What I'm doing right now is separating a piece of my hair, because what I'm actually going to do is ride this hair. So I'm separating and I'm detangling with my fingers. By the way, if I sound a little bit more manly than I usually sound, it's okay. I just have really bad allergies right now because the weather is changing. So yeah, it's all good. So like I said, I'm detangling my hair, and this hair is really rough. It's hard to detangle. It gets tangled up really fast. I'm using the purple rods to ride the hair, and I'm just twisting you know, like you would if you were wand curling. I'm just twisting it really close together. And if the hair is really long, you can just twist it on itself and it'll be fine. Then I secure the rod and then I move on to my next section. Trying to detangle this mess. I'm going in with my rod again, and I am twisting the hair onto the rod so that it can look new again. So it can be presentable. These curls really just fail. It's just, yeah, I have an update on these crochet braids in a later video. But now I'm using a Denman brush, and as you can see, the look on my face is kind of frustrating, but the Denman brush really did help detangle a lot better than me just using my fingers. So use that brush if you have to. Going back in with that Denman brush. The reason why I'm detangling is because when I take the rods out of my hair, I'm going to have to separate this hair for a more full look, and it will be easier to separate if the hair is already detangled. It will be pointless to not detangle and then try to separate and then have more knots and just end up where you started. So please try to detangle as best as possible if you're using the same hair that I use to install. If you don't know what hair I use, please check out my how I installed my crochet braids video. It is up here. Just click on it. That is it. All the rods are in. I'm only doing the front part because the back wasn't really that bad. So that's it. Now I'm going to be dipping my hair in some hot water. I just got it off the stove. If you are underage, I would not recommend you do this by yourself because you could definitely burn yourself. Even if you're overage, you could still burn yourself. So please be careful when doing this. If you find that you can't get the rod down in there, just use a tool that won't melt and push it in there as best as you can. Please have a towel handy because you're going to need it. What I like to do is place the towel behind the rod, like in between the rod and my face, so that no water will get on my face. And as you can see, the steam is still coming off the rod. So I just like to hold it with the towel and make sure that I get as much excess water out of the rod and out of the hair as possible. And as you can see, it is very hot, so just be careful, okay, because the steam is coming through the towel. So now I just repeat that same process, and I actually hold the rods in the water for about 10 to 15 seconds just to make sure that the water is getting throughout the hair. Again, be very careful and make sure you have your towel handy because this is very important. If you do not have a towel, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're going to need a towel. And you're going to need patience as well. Now, when I got to the other side, I did go and put more water in the cup. I poured out the old water and I put more water in the cup simply because the water was not as hot as I needed it to be to actually set the curls. You definitely need boiling water. Like, literally, you need to see the steam, because the curls will not set and it won't work if it's not hot enough. So I accidentally deleted the clip of me removing all of the rods, but this one rod in the front of my hair right here, this one did not take because I did not re-up the water soon enough. I didn't refill the water soon enough, so I did have to end up going back and re-rodding this rod and dipping it in some new hot water. So now I'm just taking it out, and this is pretty much how I took out all of my rods. And what I did was I just let the rods sit in my hair while I did my makeup and got ready to go. And the hair is still wet, but it's okay, it'll air dry. And I'm just separating my curls so that it can be a little bit more full. That side is where I use the Denman brush on, and it's so much easier to separate that side than it was to separate the other side, simply because I just used my fingers, which didn't get all the tangles out, but you know, it's okay. It still worked and it still turned out just fine. Excuse my curtain moving in the background. My 2-year-old just felt like he wanted to pull on it, but you know, it's okay. But this is pretty much it. I'm just separating my curls. I did find a few knots still at the bottom, just simply because, like I said, I detangle with my fingers instead of the Denman brush. So if you find knots, just cut them out and it will be all good. But that's it. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.